Welcome to the Raw and Real of Real Estate podcast, powered by LPT Realty, Real Estate Reimagined, with your host, the one and only Betsy Tinnervin. On this podcast, we bring you people who share their personal journeys in life, business, and of course, real estate. Get motivated, inspired, and priceless information from entrepreneurs, community leaders, and realtors who are thriving. Now let's get raw and real. Here's Betsy.
Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show. I am your host, Betsy Tinnervin, with the Tampa Bay Investments team and LPT Realty. Obviously, every week we want to give our shout out to the man, the one and only RP, Robert Palmer. He is our amazing CEO who created LPT Realty, the fastest growing brokerage right now in the country. We also want to give a shout out to all of our listeners who religiously listen to our show every single week. We love you. We can't see you or hear you, but you can hear us. And we are here to inspire and motivate you and give you the raw and the real about real estate, entrepreneurship, and business. Today is going to be super exciting. I hope all my LPT agents are listening because we are giving you some major resources today. I am definitely a little biased. I have some special people in the studio today. One is a long-term relationship, business-wise and personal, that I've had for a very long time. And another one is new, fresh, but we have gotten really close as we discuss like business development almost on a weekly basis now. So my first guest that I want to introduce to you is Mr. Langston Pates. How are you, Langston?
Betsy, I'm doing good.
Awesome. And Langston and I think that we've literally known each other now for like 20 years.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, I met you in junior high at outdoor education.
Oh, that's a great story, dude. I did not remember that. So outdoor ed is where we met.
Absolutely.
It was in 8th grade?
8th grade.
Okay, that's sweet. I'm sure that I was not a good camper. I can guarantee you that. And now Langston is running a 6-figure, at least a year, moving company, Team Relocation. His business is actually located in Illinois. However, he worked for a big moving company here in Tampa, Florida for a couple years. And all you do primarily, Langston, is network with realtors.
Oh, absolutely. Realtors are a really big resource for us. People go to them to choose their house, and then they come to us to move their couch.
I love that. And at the end of the day, we are going to share some gems from Langston. Langston, how much money do you spend a month on marketing?
$0.
Free 99?
Free 99. I spend no money on marketing.
That is phenomenal. And so all the agents out there, whether you're a new agent or maybe your business is struggling, you know, during the recession a little bit that we're going through, I know that it's not really a buyer's market. We're going to give you some really good gems of how you can network instead of spending money on marketing. And literally, Langston himself is going to tell you how he partners with realtors. So all of you realtors out there can partner with other members of your community and help you gain leads and then build trusting relationships in the community and make yourself super likable as the #1 LPT agents that you are in the Tampa Bay area. My other guest is Mr. Xavier, and we tried to practice saying your last name, but before I botch it, can you just say it for me, Mr. Xavier?
Yes, it's Marrero.
Marrero. And he is actually with XEN Holdings, Inc., and what's so cool about Xavier is he is working with clients that want to buy investment properties, clients that also want to possibly take out lines of credit. And so basically just give me kind of a brief synopsis of what a resource you are, Xavier, to realtors.
Yes, boss lady, I will definitely be more than happy to. So basically what it is that we become a real good resources. We're actually just preparing the buyer before they buy. So for example, you know, their personal credit, we want to make sure that is ready to go, especially when they go to that closing table. And then also for those investors that want more capital or need more capital, especially when it comes to the business credit, we can help them as well.
I love that. And it's going to be very cool to see both of you guys in Tampa on January 14th being a part of the Invest Tour. I'm going to save all the good juicy gems for segments 2, 3, and 4. But I want to come back to you, Langston, and just talk about, there's a lot of people starting in real estate. There's a lot of people starting businesses out there. as we have the saying, started from the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how you started. Why moving, how it all happened.
Well, for me, I wanted to be successful for a long time, but I lost sight in being significant. And so I started a business to solve a problem, not just to make money. You know, far too often I wanted to just make money. And I realized, like, I don't buy a car because I need a reason to buy gas. I buy a car to go somewhere. The fuel just helps me facilitate the car to get there. So I started a business to solve a problem, and I just had to look at myself and say, you know, what can I do to not just be successful, but to be significant? Significance was the only thing that I was missing. So I started a moving company. I did what I had been doing. I didn't change anything up. I did exactly what I had been doing, and I moved forward.
And just to be clear to everyone out there, you actually started your moving company while you were making $13 an hour being a mover.
Yeah, so I worked for a party rental company and an equipment rental company for $13 an hour. And I started looking around at the trucks and the equipment, and I added so much value to the business for $13 an hour that my boss would let me use his equipment in my off time to do side jobs. And during COVID, the party rental business was obsolete. They found out really fast that they were non-essential, but people were moving every day. Even people that lost everything had to move. So my phone started ringing and we were on unemployment. So I made the transition into a business owner.
And I believe it was funny because we want to give a shout out to some of our people back in Illinois with Remax Rising, Tom Peterson, Noel Burns, John Armstrong, all of our people back home. I believe one day I flew into town and I said, Langston, call your boss, tell him that you're going on lunch break and I'm going to put you in front of these realtors and you're going to build relationships with them. So make business cards, get a logo, and here we go.
Yeah, and I was scared to death. I had no idea what I was doing. Betsy threw me in front of a room with like 60 realtors, and I was nervous. I didn't know what I was going to say. And at the last minute, Betsy told me, Langston, just be yourself. Go up there, tell those people who you are, and tell them what you do. And I do believe that I'm the best at what I do. And so the rest of it came very easy.
And it was so awesome because now let's talk about exactly how many of those people you do business with today and what that does for your company.
Oh, there's at least 10 people that were in that room that day that I've spoke to every week since then. They call me with issues that their clients have. People are selling homes, closing dates change. People have to be out of one home on a certain day, but their furniture, they don't move into their new home until a few days later. So they need answers of where to keep their life.
Well, don't want to miss this show today as Langston goes into exactly what he does to network and not spend any money on marketing, which is a super, super amazing gem that he's going to give you today. Mr. Xavier.
Yes.
So you and I actually met through Pastor Tommy at Crossover Church. And what's really cool about Crossover is that they kind of have this entrepreneur group. Now, why they let you and I be a part of this, I'm still not sure. Tommy, if you're listening, we're still wondering. So you and I met through Tommy, and I had Tommy on the show as well as, you know, they have We Love Our City and all these great things in Tampa. But I'm really excited for you to just kind of tell people why credit repair.
Yeah, definitely. First of all, shout out to Pastor Tommy, right? Love that guy. Always connecting me with some great people. So when obviously he introduced me to you, I already knew this was going to go a lot farther. So thank you, Betsy, for this opportunity. But the reason why credit, right? Credit is because born in Puerto Rico, coming from a very poor family, moving to the States to look for a better opportunity, right? Come to find out that cash is king and we're always taught about cash, but credit is power. So we want to make sure that especially our community, our people, understands the importance of credit, because it's okay to have funds and have capital to invest, but it's a lot better OPM, other people's money. And obviously when we're talking about home ownership, even if it's residential or even it's commercial, a lot of times you're going to leverage your own credit to be able to get approved for that actual property. So we want to make sure people understand the point of credit and also understand basically almost like the game, right? You need to know the rules of the game to win. So we want to make sure today we give some of those rules so people can start winning.
Yeah, we don't want to give them all the gems, Xavier, but definitely after the break, Xavier is going to give you a couple key things that you can do with credit and also leveraging debt. He's also going to give you his information as well. And Langston, let's give the listeners your information really quick.
Yeah, my phone number is 309-445-0663. Our email is teamrelocation82@gmail.com.
Perfect. And Xavier, go ahead and give them your phone number if they want to contact you.
Yes, my phone number is 813-373-4463.
You are not going to want to miss segment 2. We are going to talk about two things. One, what Xavier can do for you to actually be prepared as a buyer ready to buy. He's going to talk about the difference between a loan and possibly a line of credit. He's going to talk about what you can do with your credit. And then Langston is going to give you the gem of how he bought his first rental property with zero money down, as well as tie into how he spends $0 a month to run his moving company on marketing and does it all through networking. Download the iHeartRadio app. We're going to take a break and pay some bills. I will catch you after the break.
The best comp plans ever and stock and revenue share, but if we're not closing real estate transactions, all of that is worthless, because ultimately everything starts with a real estate transaction, which starts with a consumer. And so we wanted to arm our agents with the absolute best technology and best marketing tools to do more real estate. And that's, again, I think a big differentiator. I think very few brokerages really sit down and say, how do we provide tools to make sure that our agents can be more productive, sell more real estate, win more listings, win at more listing appointments, help more buyers find that home. And we're very focused on that. And so while we have the best comp plans and the best ways for agents to generate wealth and earn, we also have the best tools, and more importantly, I would say have the best tools to help you be successful in real estate.
Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show. I am your host, Betsy Tinervin, and I'm so excited to be here with two guests, Langston Pates and Mr. Xavier. Hold on, Xavier. Marrero. See what I mean? Epic Phil. Marrero. I have Langston here from Team Relocation and East Locust Properties, who is a moving company business owner as well as a passive income investor with single family rentals. And I have Xavier here with XEN Holdings Inc. And he is all things business credit, personal credit, preparing buyers to buy in this market. If you are an agent out there with LPT or any brokerage, we want to thank Robert Palmer for allowing us to bring all these tips and tricks out here for agents to be better. We hope you implement these things in your business this week. So as we promised in segment 1, we are now going to turn to Xavier. And Xavier, I want you to talk about the power of networking. I think agents get really down and out in markets like this where they have built this pipeline of potential buyers. We now have high interest rates. Obviously, we have hardly any inventory, and it's a super seller's market. So they're trying to cut cost, but still get ready for the market to boom again. So explain to me the power of networking has done for you as you have built multiple businesses and what you do with it now.
Yeah, definitely. I think when it comes to networking, I think that's probably one of the most important factors when it comes to any success in any business. The reason why is because we always hear it's not what you know, it's who you know. Right?
I love that.
And that's very, very true, especially in the business world. Another thing is when it comes to networking, you get to meet people that eventually become your mentor versus even if they know it or don't know it. You know, I go into networking events and meet a ton of people that already seen the success that I'm looking for or have already accomplished the goals that I want to accomplish. So basically all I do is I pick their brains. And the way I like to look at it is basically I'm just going to skip the line to success, right? I'm going to basically network with people that have already done what I need to do. And they're basically going to give me the shortcut because any mistakes that they made or any hiccups that they came across, now they're going to share that information with me. So when I go to networking, I always look at it as a long-term relationship. How can I get to know somebody where they can provide me value and at the same time I can provide them value? It could be through resources. It could be through actually networking with other people. But I feel that networking will get you into doors that even a degree can't even get you into.
And I also think what's really cool about LPT is Robert is really pushing that we are not like EXP. So we have these downlines and we sponsor different people. However, the coolest part about it is like I can go to someone that's not in my downline and create a networking event and still divvy up agent recruits and partner together. And you actually create this ecosystem of people that now we're not competitors. we're family and we're working together. So I love what you said about basically figuring out how, when you're networking, you can help someone contribute to their business and vice versa. And I always say to people, it has to be a win-win, right?
Of course.
Like, your time is valuable. And the biggest thing I want to tell agents too is, like, know your hourly worth. You know, I think that's a big thing my dad taught me when I was really helping him run his company and then learning how to be a business owner, is like, know your hourly worth. So the people that you surround yourself with, like, you know, Xavier, your mom used to tell you that and you thought she was full of it. Like, oh, you're just like your friends. And you're like, no, I'm not. You are. Like, when you surround yourself with high level people, and I love the texts that we share on Sundays, like, hey, X, what's up? Church today? ? Like, we're going there to learn, fill our cup up, and be around high level people. So I love everything that you've said so far.
Appreciate that.
All right, Langston, we're going to give them the raw and the real and the gems. So really, dude, how much do you spend a month on marketing?
So I have to be honest, probably not $0, because I do pay for t-shirts and hoodies, and
Okay,
I do
apparel.
and I do hand out business cards.
Okay.
So, but as far as any other marketing, I have yet to spend $1.
Do you even know how to do a Google pay-per-click?
I do not.
Do you know how to do a Facebook ad?
I do not.
I
My
love
business
this,
has
dude.
no Google search. We have a Facebook page, but obviously that's completely free.
How many followers are on Facebook?
I have like 1,000 followers on my
Okay.
Facebook page, but we live in a small town.
Yeah. So you do no Google, you do no Facebook, you buy t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and business cards.
Absolutely. People love a path of least resistance, and they also want to keep up with the Joneses. And so a lot of my business comes from people who call me and say, can you do for me what you did for the Joneses?
I love that.
Moved the Joneses' house, and they told me not to use anyone else. And so we're not going to go on Google. We're not going to go search, right? We're going to take the path of least resistance. We're going to do what the Joneses told us to do.
So wait. Go back to Xavier. He said the networking piece, right? X, you said, hey, you know, we basically want to find relationships that we're contributing to someone else and we're becoming likable. And then Langston, you're like, okay, well, these people now know who you are because you've built these relationships. So give the agents listening a super big tip just on what they should be doing to network with vendors like yourself in order to create those likable, trustable relationships with people so they can use that as marketing. And it's free.
Yeah. I heard a realtor tell me one time, they were kind of like, you know, I kind of stay away from referring a moving company, because then if something goes wrong, it kind of falls back on me and it leaves a bad taste in my client's mouth. And so, we provide a very great service, but the realtors have to realize, again, the path of least resistance. If I can go to you and choose my house, and then everything else falls in line until the time I'm in that house, again, on my couch, watching my TV, it's a predetermined path. And so the people love it. They don't have to search. The realtor has the next answer. They can solve the next problem. Not only can I help you choose your house, but I can also get all of your stuff into this new house and for a very good price.
And also, I think that there's leverage in leveraging vendors, right? And Xavier, this applies to your company too. So I'm going to turn this over to you. It's like, if I send you 10 people versus sending you one, obviously I hold leverage with our relationship, correct?
That is very true.
So when it comes to realtors and kind of bonding with vendors and using them as leverage, talk about that. Talk about how you do it with people in your business, and talk about how the listeners, no matter really what business they have, can also do it in theirs.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the young gentleman pointed out something very, very important. It's the word of mouth, right? So we feel that in this business, when it comes to it and finding that one-stop shop, we definitely want to create that team where once we have a client, and it doesn't matter if it's coming from your end, or my end, it's basically providing them the solutions, right? We already kind of know what the process is going to be like. We already know what professional needs to be in place. So what we want to do is we basically want to get those individuals that we know are providing that world-class service that will still represent us, since we did refer those individuals over, that they are going to be taken care of. So the client itself feels so much comfortable knowing that they came to a professional for help. That professional does have the proper connections to basically make the transition very smooth for that person. So we just feel that it's very, very important to network, to have those professionals on your corner that have to do with other services to make sure that the client is well taken care of.
I also think that it's overcoming objections, right? Like, agents need to understand how to overcome objections. So let's start at square one before we even get to moving, Langston, because you're really at the end of a transaction. You're at the beginning. So if I have a client that I know is like hesitant to fill out a pre-approval because they know they're going to get denied, the first thing they talk about is credit.
That's very true.
And now I can say to them, like, hey, guys, and all of you agents out there can say this to your clients too. Hey, let me refer you to somebody that understands what you're going through. And you write that in there, prepare the buyer to buy.
Yes. And the crazy thing is a lot of the agents that have built relationship with us, they sell 2 to 3 more houses per year. Just because they have that resource. A lot of the agents, especially if they're new to real estate, what happens is they're looking for that person that qualifies. So they'll push 10 people out that door before they come across that one person that has that perfect portfolio, so that way they can get approved, versus providing a solution for the 10 that you just pushed out that door. And out of those 10, you're going to have at least 3 to 4 that's going to come back, because we're going to be able to help them to get them qualified for that first step. So now that agent can take over and start showing them beautiful houses before my man gets to move them in.
I love this. Don't give all the secrets away, guys. So basically what we're going to do after the break is we're going to come back and we're going to go deeper into how Xavier prepares you to buy, and then how Langston was prepared to buy his investment property with zero money down. You're just the zero money down guy.
Zero money, B. I had to start with nothing. And now that I've got something, I still try to spend nothing.
I love that, dude. The zero money down man. Xavier, we need to like get Langston plugged in over here, man.
I like that.
I love that. So basically, all the listeners out there, we're going to walk you through kind of a quick financial plan with Xavier of what you need to kind of look for in credit, why you should schedule a one-on-one consult with him. Xavier, shout your number out real quick to the listeners.
Yes, 813-373-4463.
And Langston, anyone interested in networking, any moving companies out there, any agents that want to speak to Langston about any of his gems, shout your number out real quick.
309-445-0663.
Everybody download that iHeartRadio app. Again, when we get back after the break, how a house investment property was bought with zero money down, and the perfect financial plan that you need to prepare yourself to buy investments and residential real estate in today's market. Download the iHeartRadio app. We're going to pay some bills, and we'll catch you after the break.
Biggest win, I think, with the dual path and having these two models is that now we become a brokerage for everyone. No matter where you are in your real estate career, what your goals are today, maybe today you're not interested in recruiting or having a team, but then one day you wake up and you are. Well, if you're at the wrong brokerage to do that, you're locked in. Where in our model, we're not holding anyone hostage. We're not tying anyone in. You can move between the different comp plans and have that success and really achieve whatever your definition of success is under one brokerage platform, being LPT.
Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show. I am your host, Betsy Tinervin, and I am on fire today with two gentlemen in the studio giving all agents super great information on networking, objections, financial planning, working with other vendors such as moving companies. And now we're going to dive deep with Langston Pates, team relocation in the house. Langston, you still with me?
I'm still with you. During the break, I was just thinking about the whole, like, overcoming the objections and, you know, Xavier and the lender and the mover and how people just... They're afraid. They're afraid of their credit score. They're afraid of what's underneath their bed. They haven't looked at either one in a long time. And it stops them from wanting to move forward. And so just for the listeners, we've seen it all. We've seen all the credit scores from the good and the bad. And I've seen everything under the bed.
I love that, Xavier. I love that. That's what happens in this show, though. Like, it's so crazy. I tell everybody that's on the show, like, don't say that during the break. Say it on the show. And then I do revisit that. I think that's great that you said that. Xavier, people just don't want to look at their credit, man.
Oh, man, it's a scary thing to the average American. I was there before, man. I had a 487 at one point.
It's so funny. You and I were having this conversation the other day, and what I even said, and I want agents to hear this as well. When I met Xavier, I said, I want to be a test dummy for your product, and then I want to be a guinea pig for myself so I can walk through the process with you so that I can refer other people. Yes. And you were like, Betsy, that's so awesome, because I think real life testimonials are what just keys everybody in. So let's talk about this. Xavier does two different things, and I want everyone to hear this very clearly. He does not just deal with people that have personal bad credit. And I don't want to say bad, just neglected, because it's not bad. Mine's neglected too, right? So he also deals with people that want to build business credit. So let's start with step one. Somebody that wants to buy residential or investment properties, and they are personally wanting to work on their credit. What does that plan look like with you?
Yeah, definitely. Real quick, I do want to say documentation beats conversation, Betsy. That's why I was happy you said what you said about becoming a guinea pig first. But yeah, so basically when it comes to the personal credit, what we're looking for, there's a lot of times there's 5 credit factors that come up with your credit score. We want to go ahead and look at every single factor, see which one is costing you most damage or which one is helping you the most, right? And then kind of work with the others. So basically what we do is we go in there and we show you how sometimes you don't have to pay off collections. A lot of people pay hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars in collections to try to get those removed. But once you pay them, they don't get removed. So we'll help you with that, where a lot of times you don't even have to pay them and we can still get them removed. And we also let you know about basically your rights, your credit factors and your rights. What rights do you have that we can leverage to actually fix your credit score? A lot of people don't know that there is a law out there that actually protects the consumer from a lot of these companies. The reason why is because, I'll give you a quick example and I won't take too long, is, for example, let's just pretend you owe ABC Wireless $500, right? After 60 to 90 days, they have the right to do one or two things. They have the right to actually sell it to another company, which now they can sell it to ABC Collections, and that debt by law is paid off. You as the consumer are no longer responsible for that debt. That company decides to sell your debt, that means you're no longer responsible for that. But they will never tell you that. ABC Wireless will never tell you that.
Of course they're not going to tell me that.
ABC Collections will never tell you that, right? So we want to make sure that you know that, and we want to make sure we practice your rights to save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. But the main thing is to get to your goal is to increase that credit score to get you approved for that home or even that investment property.
So basically, you're going to look at the 5 factors, and then you're also going to protect me as a consumer.
That's correct. Because you do have rights that 90%.
So you're like basically baby Jesus in the credit world.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
So everybody out there interested in working with Xavier to help their real estate clients, my LPT agents in the house, and also any other realtors, please connect with him. He is honestly someone that is a super, super asset and resource to anybody out there wanting to deal with their personal credit. And then on top of that, you also do business credit, but I'm going to circle back on that because I'm going to flip over to you. I call Langston LP, so I have to call him LP. He's been LP since we were in 8th grade. So LP, I want you to walk us through something really crazy. I know you're going to tell your story on the tour, yes, but you took a little vacation for a little bit.
I did.
Yeah. Where did you vacation to?
I was sentenced in federal prison to 27 months. That was my second stint in federal prison. I did some time in Forest City, Arkansas, and I also did some time at the Metropolitan Correctional Facility in downtown Chicago.
I bet you the view in downtown Chicago was a little better than the view in Arkansas.
You know what it was? I could look out the day room and I could see the towers. I could see the highway. I could see the United States Post Office. I had a lot of cool things to look out the window and see.
Just so everyone doesn't think that you're like, complete crazy, like, could you tell them what you were charged with?
Yes, I was charged with conspiracy to manufacture and deliver 100 or more kilograms of marijuana.
So Langston got a drug charge. You walk out the doors in prison. And your credit score was what?
My credit score was a 427.
And what date was that?
That was April 19th of 2019.
And the date today of 2023, you just turned 40, by the way. Yes. Shout out, happy birthday. And it's our boy's birthday today. It's Rico's birthday today. He's also turning 40. Welcome to the 40s Club. But basically, you're 40 years old today, and you've been out how long?
3 years.
3 years. So in 3 years, we took the credit score from a 4 what was it?
427.
To what?
My credit score today is like a 724.
A 724. And how much real estate do you own?
I own six single family homes in Illinois, close to $1 million worth of single family homes.
And you did this in 3 years?
I did all of this in 3 years.
As a convicted felon?
As a convicted felon.
And you're going to speak on the Invest Tour January 14th, how you did it, what you did, and all of that. So we won't give them any total story, but we're going to give you one really good story. And the story that I love is you bought a property with zero money down and actually got a check at closing.
Yes.
Walk us through that process.
So there was a point in my life where I couldn't even borrow $20 if I needed it. There was no lending Langston money and thinking that you were going to give it back. But what happened was my boss at the time wanted to help me purchase my house. And so we went to his banker and he helped me purchase my house. And we created an LLC, and that's how East Locust Property started. Once we created the LLC and he helped me purchase my home for my family, we looked up and we were like, we just created a whole business and like we can invest in real estate now. Let's do it again. And the lender,
and then you called your friend.
And then I called Betsy and I'm like, what do I do? And the lender said that they could lend us 80% of the appraisal. And so I had no money to put down on this investment property, and I put in sweat equity. I went and looked at a lot of deals. I walked through a lot of homes with my partner and Tom Peterson, and I found a house that I believed was undervalued. From everything that I had seen, it was undervalued. And
the purchase price was what?
The purchase price was $62,000.
And it appraised for what?
And it appraised for $100K. So at closing, I got a check for $18,000. They lent me $80,000, and I negotiated buying the house for $62,000.
And so you bought the house for how much money down?
Zero.
Zero money down. And it's very cool on the tour. Langston is going to go in detail. But the first thing that I told Langston when he called me, and this is why he keeps mentioning Tom Peterson, is find a good realtor. You know, everybody out there listening that wants to buy investments needs to connect with a realtor. And of course, I'm biased. It needs to be an LPT realtor because we're the best. Connect with someone that knows your market. But I really love the factor that you're so open about your story. I know you're giving back a lot in your community, working with tons of just people in McLean County, and now you're kind of bringing that to Tampa, Langston. So I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for being candid about your story. I think anyone out there listening, what I would love for you to hear is just that if in 3 years as a convicted felon, Langston can build these relationships in his community. I also want to say this really quickly before we go to break. I believe that now you are moving things for the government.
I am. Yes.
And so this is the first time you've actually got a call from the government and you are like, this, I want to take the call.
It is. Just like there was no one to lend me $20, I could not go vote myself. Like there was a point in time when I couldn't even go cast my vote. And now in my hometown, the entire election goes through my company. We deliver all of the election equipment, the election booths, all of the electronics that go to the voting polls. We hold them overnight and then we deliver them out to the voting stations. And then after the people go cast their votes, we gather them back up on our trucks and we take them back to the government center.
I just love you. I'm proud of you. This has been amazing watching you tell your story, even though I know it very well. We unfortunately have to take a break, but when we come back, Xavier is going to go dive deep into business credit and investment lending. Langston is also going to continue to talk about his passive income portfolio. I hope that we've inspired and motivated you today that if there is a will, there's a way. We are here to support you in all your business ventures, and all you agents out there, keep trucking through this tough market, because when there is a breakdown, there is a breakthrough. We are going to pay some bills and catch you after the break. Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show, and I am overjoyed today. Your host, Betsy Tinervin, with two amazing people, Xavier and Langston, Team Relocation and XEN Holdings, Inc., all things personal credit, business credit, financial planning, networking, moving companies, real estate people, working with vendors. And we have the zero money down man here, Langston, Xavier, who me and him, we got to figure out his blueprint because I figured like me and you, we're pretty smart, but we got to get with Langston after the show. And I've known him 20 years. He bought a house with zero money down. He really spends zero money on marketing. And I do want to give you a big birthday shout out. You know, Langston's been one of my really good friends 20 years, and I've only gotten sappy on this radio show twice, so I'm going to not get sappy today. But I call him up and I say, hey, El, what do you want for your birthday, man? And he goes, Betsy, all I want for my birthday is to be on the radio show with you. And I said, yes, dude, zero money down. It's zero money. And I hope that everyone's taking advantage of all the gems that he's giving you. And I hope that you realtors really reach out to him and connect with him on how he has been a catalyst and connector for agents, developing so many vendor relationships that really cost realtors nothing. Xavier, I want to swing back to you. I want to give them the gems on this business credit. And I really want you to start off by just telling people as well, you have a pretty great story. For some odd reason, I have written on my forehead in my personal life and my business life, if you have a good story, please come talk to me. That works in business really well, in personal, not so much. So I want you to tell people your story on really why you help people build personal credit and business credit, because I think that the world with YouTube and Instagram and the internet has really just made people poor in what they invest in. We want to invest in assets, not liabilities, and not get caught up on the likes and the flashy cars. So give them some gems, dude, because you have a great story.
Yeah, definitely. So, you know, just so I understand how I got to this point, you definitely need to know my background. Puerto Rican, born in Puerto Rico, very poor family. Coming to America, it was definitely a culture shock for me, you know, seeing glass windows for the first time, Walmarts and stuff like that. Let me know there was a better life, right? So what do we do when we get to America, especially, you know, being from a different country? We chase the American dream, to come to find out it's basically a nightmare, right? We work so hard, 9 to 5, and we're living paycheck to paycheck, and we're definitely not happy. So what ended up happening is that I said to myself, hey, if I start networking, if I start meeting individuals that are living the lifestyle that I want to live, then obviously I can get there. So what ended up happening, I started networking with other people, investors, realtors, individuals, credit experts, and I started seeing their lifestyle, and I started seeing the income that they had coming in. So I said, hey, you know what? Let me follow that blueprint and let me get to the status that they're in. And thank God we was able to. I was able to network. I was able to stay coachable. And I was able to just be forever a student and gain a lot of knowledge that allowed me to see a lot of success. But during that success, what I didn't learn is how to manage my money, right? I think a lot of us coming from a certain area, especially like the ghetto or a hood, we're never taught financial literacy, right? We're taught how to make money. My man probably already knows, you heard what he got caught with or the case that they gave him. So we definitely know how to make money, but do we really know how to keep money? And more importantly, do we know how to invest money to create assets? Versus I was that individual, and I apologized to my audience before on social media because I was the individual buying the flashy cars, the penthouse downtown, the expensive dinners, the red bottoms.
How
Rolex.
far did that get you?
It didn't get me too far, to be honest with you.
Did you get any more assets, or did you get any more value of your business because you had the red bottoms?
No. What it did is actually
No.
attracted the wrong people. It attracted the people that wanted to see success overnight and not the ones that understood it took overnights to see that success. So I kind of find out when you start wearing these flashy things, you do attract the wrong people because they expect for them to see that same results in a month versus in 10 years, which is what it took me. Right. So by me telling you that story, and it gets a lot deeper, and I know we don't have that much time, but what it did, it allowed me to realize that I understood how to make money, which was the hustler in me, but I didn't understand financial literacy, which is basically what's going to make me the investor, and it's going to make me successful, and it's going to help me create assets. And not
Which is why real estate is a sexy asset. Real estate is a sexy asset because you can leverage debt. And it's not something that's fast. I mean, I know that there's a lot of crypto people and there's a lot of stock people, but like the appreciation in real estate has not dropped. And obviously we're in the third metro market in the country. Our appreciation rate here is 24.47%. So basically, if we have people out there that want to build business credit and they want to use that as either lines of credit or loans to buy investment properties. How do you help people do that?
Yeah, it's very simple. As long as we get your personal credit up, which will be the first step. After that, this is when we come in and we say, okay, let's put our big boy pants on and let's create some assets, right? What we do is we basically now have a company that will help you establish a S Corp or an LLC, and it will actually help you establish enough credit so that way you can have funding in the next 45 to 90 days.
And basically you're creating a resume for someone as a business.
That is correct.
I love that.
Yes. So we keep it very simple.
I love that. Well, X, we love your story. We love your candidness. And we also know that you're a super resource for all of our LPT agents to help their buyers plan to buy, as well as anyone out there looking to obtain personal credit, business credit. And if you are looking to buy investment properties, please contact one of us lovely LPT agents. Langs, I'm coming back to you for your final thoughts, kid. I'm not really sure what show that is, but we are coming back to you for your final thoughts. I really want you to give people out there today just some motivation as far as, you know, agents are business owners. We are entrepreneurs. We are 1099. We do not have anyone that gives us a paycheck. And I know as a business owner, you can relate to that. But I also know that you really did it with absolutely nothing and a horrible resume. So like if someone out there is not a convicted felon, they do not have a bad reputation in their community, they just need like a swift kick in the rear, right?
They do. I have to give a lot of the credit for my zero money down savviness to the one and only Maria Black, my mother. She is the queen of turning 2 into 4, 4 into 6, 6 into 8, and looking good while she's doing it. And she didn't have one to begin with. So I definitely have to give her that credit. Growing up, we didn't have much. You know, like Xavier said, we went without a lot of material things, but we didn't go without love. And she taught me how to treat people. So if you're out here listening, you're looking for a way to maneuver in this world in business and entrepreneurship as a realtor, just get to know people. It will take you so far if you understand people.
And that got you.
It did.
We started talking about Maria, and just so everybody knows too, Maria really stepped up in my life, and I was at every holiday with her. I think I stayed with you guys when I was like 15. And I don't have a lot of time on the show ever to tell my story, but Maria Black is truly one of those people that has taught all of us how to love people. And it's so funny when we stand in your backyard because every color, every size, every shape of human is in that yard.
And I've actually had people tell me, Langston, when my move was over, I forgot that I had to pay you. And I'm like, whoa. And so they're like, I felt like my friends and family had come to move me. We've been in these people's house all day. We've touched all their stuff. We've seen their underwear drawer. Like, you're family now. You know what I mean? And so they
and what's under their bed.
And what's under their bed. Trust me, I've seen it all. But that's what makes people, the Joneses, tell the next person. I don't teach my guys how to be great furniture movers. I teach them how to treat people.
And be great people. Well, I have had an amazing time with both of you guys on my show. I like it that, LP, you were the emotional one today, not me, because I've had meltdowns. Our job here is to be catalysts and connectors in the community. We want to give a huge shout out to LPT Realty. They make all of this possible every single week, and we try to bring agents resources. I want all of my LPT agents to listen to this. Langston, if someone wants to get in touch with you, give them your phone number, please.
309-445-0663.
One more time slowly.
309-445-0663.
Great, because someone just crashed their car trying to write down your number. And Xavier, could you please give everyone your digits, please?
Yes, 813-373-4463.
X, I really appreciate you being here today.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
And Langston, as always, you took a flight to get here.
I did. I flew all the way here from Central Illinois for my 40th birthday, just to tell the next man that you can get to this point through hard work.
And it wasn't on Con Air this time.
It was not on Con Air.
I love this story. I have loved this episode. I cannot wait to see what type of content we basically produce from this show. This is Betsy Tinnervin signing off.
Thanks for listening to the Raw and Real of Real Estate podcast, powered by LPT Realty, Real Estate Reimagined. We hope this episode motivated and inspired you. And don't forget to rate and review us. Thanks again for listening to the Raw and Real of Real Estate podcast with Betsy Tinervin.